What's going on, man? How are
Um,
you? How you
I'm well.
how are you feeling? What's happening?
I'm good. I'm good. I must admit my favorite time of the year is or was here, Thanksgiving.
Oh
So
yes?
yeah, I always like Thanksgiving because I get to like be around family and the food. I just like the thought of Thanksgiving and the family aspect. So it's always been like my favorite time. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it's been my favorite time to think about like family and other people coming together, being around. But I guess that's like the moment of things being so loving and camaraderie and happiness. So I guess that's just why I love it so much.
Is it because it's one of these things that you've always wanted to experience? Its full authenticity, and now you have a chance of creating that?
Um, I think so. That and mixed in with the thought of what Thanksgiving is or what it's supposed to be. Um, what did it say? Like Thanksgiving on paper
Mm-hmm.
is family coming together, eating together, being one. Like the oneness and the thought of like family coming together is what
Unity.
makes Thanksgiving so appealing to me. Where
Mm-hmm.
other holidays don't really necessarily have that. I don't. I guess I've always had this strong family mindset. So just being together with like family and loving people is always like made me happy. Or
Would
maybe,
you
hmm?
would you say that this was your favorite Thanksgiving of all times?
No, this was actually my scariest Thanksgiving.
Say more.
uh, for a lot of time, I guess maybe just about the last 10 years or most of my 20s, I've gone to my aunt's house, my aunt slash mother figure,
Mm-hmm.
um, for Thanksgiving. And being here in LA was the first time I'm not going to be able to like do my usual Thanksgiving, which is go see my friends, go see family, people that are really close to me, and then go end the night at my aunt's house, um, with family and everything. Because she also loves Thanksgiving and the camaraderie of family and food and togetherness and oneness. Funny enough, she's an Aquarius also. Um, so I wasn't able to do that this year. And then a week before Thanksgiving, my aunt, my one of my only family members here in LA, caught COVID.
Mm,
So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to see her um for Thanksgiving, and that one hurt because it was like that's my only family that I'm going to be able to see. And the other part of it was I'm going to be around Mila's friends and family, but I still want my own. Like I want a little bit of my own. I don't mind going to spend time with like your family, but to have to be around my family for so long, or my part of Thanksgiving, and then not to have any of it included at all.
yeah.
So,
Um, did did anybody call you from your side of your family?
yeah, my mother figure aunt called me. Of course, just a few friends and stuff like that. I did talk to people, send out happy Thanksgiving and whatever, but the feeling like the absence of being in person was gonna hurt a lot. But my aunt ended up coming through and testing negative before Thanksgiving,
Nice.
and she was able to do Thanksgiving the whole everything, and
The
Me
whole
and Mila,
shebang.
yeah. Mhm.
Um,
Another thing I was thinking about when I was getting sad over feeling as if I'm not gonna be able to go to Thanksgiving with my aunt was, do I have family here? Right? Now, when I say that, the thought that came to mind was I have people I know, and then there's like Mila's friends and things like that. But can I consider them like family, really close friends? And that's what kind of made it feel a little bit lonelier because what do you consider family? Like if things went wrong with me and Mila, or we got into like this big blow up fight, would Mila's friends that consider me family still consider me family, or are they going to take their friend's side, who is Mila? So that kind of made it feel. I don't know why that sparked my mind around Thanksgiving, but that kind of made it feel a little bit lonelier because I'm trying to reach out and feel like this family and friendship dynamic on this other side of my family that I'm building right now, but it I don't feel like it's really solidified yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that plus Thanksgiving and it all mixing at the same time made it feel like kind of lonely, even on another level when I thought I wasn't going to be able to see my family.
What's your definition of family?
People that you consider to be close to you because of like love and
Support.
compatibility.
Okay.
Love, support, compatibility. Like what it's what you consider a family dynamic and who you consider to be family within that family dynamic.
Gotcha. So did Miller take any steps of trying to make you feel more comfortable during Thanksgiving, of incorporating some of your own rituals?
Um, the one ritual I have was basically like house hopping, and that's
Mm-hmm.
something that she did already. Um, we just needed somewhere to house hop, so I didn't have. If it wasn't gonna be my aunt, it was just gonna be straight to her friend's house, and you can. She's offering comfort and support, making me feel like, hey, you have family and friends here and stuff like that. But there's only so much she can do when you can't necessarily change like the environment. Like we're gonna be here, we're gonna be doing Thanksgiving in LA. This is a situation I'm at, and the only thing that's gonna change if I go by or see family in person. So only thing you can really do is provide comfort and words of encouragement in that time. And that is what she did. But there's only so much one person can't do um, as far as that situation.
Was this the first time where you felt alone since moving to LA? Where you realize, yeah, my friends, my family, everything I've known is actually on another, I'm not continent, but on the other side of the world to some degree, on another
Yeah.
coast.
No, it's not the first time I felt lonely. Um, that moment where, like over the summer, Mila left and went to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I was in the crib for like 3 weeks by myself. Like I was on lockdown, like on solitude. But I was in the crib for 3 weeks, just like me and my mind. And I guess that one is a little bit different because there's no like special occasion.
Mm-hmm.
So you just chilling, rocking out for like 3 regular weeks. But this being my favorite holiday and a moment that only comes once a year made it feel heavier.
Did you take the chance of kind of sharing these feelings with Mila, leaning on her, allowing her to be present with you, sharing some of your some of your inner world with her?
Yeah. She understands. She understands fully. I explained everything to her and like how I felt, which is interesting because I explained it like without hesitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I just be like, it's just fucking crazy times right now. It's just crazy times now. I'm just sad, but I was able to explain it in detail instead of just giving a general. I'm sad because I'm not around family on Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
There was more to it.
And also, like, by you starting this new chapter, immersing yourself within this new culture and this new family structure, it also presents an opportunity for you to redefine Thanksgiving and to create a new ritual of connection for you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So have you thought on how you can navigate that more moving forward?
Building new rituals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, funny enough, probably start doing Thanksgiving dinner or hosting Thanksgiving. That's always been a
I'm
thing
surprised you didn't host because you love to cook.
I do, but I don't really do a lot of like soul food and like big. family dinners. I can cook for like maybe 3 or 4 people at
Mm-hmm.
most, but the big family Thanksgiving and food like that and mac and cheese and yams, I don't do a lot of American soul food. So, and I do need to like up my, I guess, cooking.
Culinary
Yeah, culinary skills to like,
specialties.
yeah.
That's
So, but me and Mila did cook together and we made like stuff for the house. So that felt good that I was able to contribute a little bit of cooking, and then we were able to cook for the house, cook and bring to her friend's house. And now that I know I'm with somebody that loves this holiday also and knows how to do whatever needs to be done to make Thanksgiving happen, it does feel good to or it makes me look forward to next year to where maybe I can host, or in the future where I'm thinking about having a house that's big enough and a long table and like all these friends and family and kids over and stuff like that.
why is that so significant to you? The need to kind of, to some degree, take care of people, take care of Thanksgiving, do the cooking, giving them a good time, providing a safe space for them, having everyone together. Why is that so significant to you?
Wow, you're good. Because as soon as you said it, like two things popped up. Because instead of asking like why is significant to me, the question being why is helping people significant to me?
And
And
taking care,
yeah,
caretaking, acts of service.
um, well, two things.
Mm-hmm.
In my one thing that I already said was not having necessarily the immediate family dynamic, and then seeing like the happy family dynamic and Thanksgiving being one of those moments that really can amplify and have that moment all at once, is one of the reasons. Because as I've already explained, like my immediate family structure and stuff like that. The other was seeing my mother figure also help as much people as she could, when even when it wasn't necessarily beneficial for her, she still like reached out, and I was one of the people that she took in, and I was one of the people that like reaped the benefits of her taking me in at the time where she did when she did, because my mom kicked me out at 18. So I had to. I haven't told you my mom kicked me out. I think I did.
No.
It was about my dad trying to get me a car and going to court. Okay, let me tell you this story, right? Quick. Quick segue, right? My mom kicks me out at the age of 18 years old. Now, at this time, this is probably the third time I got kicked out. I think I got kicked out twice in high school, and this is like the end of my high school, right? So, I start my job with the NTM, 18 years old. Um, I got my first check stub, but not my first check or some shit like that, right? So, anyway, I asked my dad, "Hey, can you help me get a car?" Because I was going from East New York, Brooklyn, all the way over to Coney Island at like 7 o'clock in the morning at 18 years old. So it was like it was a very long travel. So I asked my dad, "Hey, can you help me get a car?" He says, "All right, no problem. Just give me your pay stubs, and I'll help you get this car." So I'm like, "All right, cool, no problem."
And he took it to court.
Yeah. So my dad takes my pay stubs to court so that he no longer has to pay like child support. And the court sees that with my mom's income and my income, because at the time it's a really great job. Even at 18, I was getting paid really good money. And I didn't even know my mom and my dad was doing this whole soiree in court at like at least at this level. So my mom comes home pissed. She was like, "I can't believe you would do that. And you went behind my back." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He was like, "Your dad showed up to court with your pay stubs saying that you make this amount of money and he's not going to give me any money for you. So since I'm not getting any money for you, you need to get the fuck out."
Wow.
And I was just like, So now my dad broke my trust with lying just so he can get out of paying for me. And my mom realized that there's no worth in me anymore. So I need to get out the house.
That must have hurt.
Yeah. So
No. Can we stay there for a second though? Where do you think, where in your body do you hold that memory? When
it
when you
is
talk about it, which part of your body gets tighter?
um around my head and my chest.
Why is that?
It's it is like it's hurtful and it's heartbreaking knowing like the situation. I think,
Keyword. It's heartbreaking.
yeah, and I think now that I think about it, it's even more heartbreaking because I look at like I look at 18-year-olds, kids that are 18, 19, 4, 7, 11 now. And I'd be like, wow, this happened to me at that age.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I looked at that age. And that
Mm-hmm.
happened. And I'd be like, wow. Like, wow, that really happened to me. And then when other people saw me, that's the age that they saw me. So this is what I look like. And that happened to me. Wow. So yeah, it was heartbreaking to think about it. Just not usually, but for maybe a good amount of time, it'll be one parent fucking up, and the other parent like either they're not really fucking up also, but they're not really doing anything great, but just they're just not fucking up also. So it's usually I'm getting it from one parent, but it's the exact same situation
From both parents.
from both parents.
It's
So
it's as if they were at war with themselves, with each other, and you were the casualty, even though
I
you didn't
was,
ask to be here.
yeah, I was the collateral.
How have you managed to mend your heart back?
Oh, all right. Well, to answer your question before, how did I manage to mend my heart back? The tightness around my head is like the closing of one door when my mom kicked me out, but then the opening of another when my aunt like accepted me. And not only did she accept me, she also defended me from my mom. So, and that was around the time of like 18, 19, 20. So it's like I'm going from like teenage to young adult. So into my teens to like my 20s. And it's like this transition of
Lack of trust.
having somebody that, yeah, trust and having somebody that's going to look out for me in my young adult age. So my mom and my dad raised me or didn't raise me because I was just doing the opposite of what they were doing to like be a better person. But now I have someone that's going to show me all the things that I'm supposed to do to be a man in this young adult age. And
Yeah.
that was my mother figure. So that's where like the tightness in my head comes in, but it's also like a release right after. So it's like I could tell the story, and it peaks at like this dark moment, and then there's this like opening of a door and a bright light where my mother figure comes in, and she's like, "Oh, you could come live here, and I'll sacrifice whatever I need just to make sure you have what you need to grow up and be an adult."
Okay.
And
And how were you able to actually trust your mother figure? Because you've had two adults in your life so far by the age of 18 that have consistently shown you that adults cannot be trusted.
mhm,
Parent figures, family members cannot be trusted. So when your mother figure comes in and say, "Hey, open door, come in.
mhm.
Allow me to be present for you. Allow me to take care of you or to some degree be a parent to you."
Mhm.
How was that transition for you?
It was easy because the words and the actions met up. Um, this little side note, one of the things that I don't do, I have a hard time ever saying to somebody, "I promise you, I'll do this,"
Mm-hmm.
because my dad ran that one down to the ground, like to the point where just saying I don't say it myself and hearing it turns me off. It's like you don't please, you don't have to promise me anything. Just really just try your best to get it done.
Wow.
Because it is such a turn off for me. But one of the things my mother figure did was say what she's gonna do and actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how I view people now. I view people who say what they're gonna do and actually do it. Not do, even if you do something, but you're not verbally expressing it, that doesn't work either. But she did both.
I got it. I know why you felt for Mila.
Okay.
Mila, in the short time that I got to know her, is exactly who she says that she is. The way that she presents herself is exactly how she is 24/7. And one of the biggest things that you look for in people in general is, are they trustworthy? Are you going to do what you say you're going to do? Or are you exactly who you say you are? When you say you're showing up somewhere, you're actually going to show up. Are you actually going to be on time? When you say something, are you going to follow through? I think one of the reasons why you were able to quickly, I'm not going to say fall, to quickly trust and desire and trust your feelings and emotions with an attachment to Mila was because she is authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And that draws to you, that appeals to you, just like your your mother figure. Like, she earned your trust by actually following through on the things that she said she was going to follow through on. So you've learned to really prioritize trustworthiness whenever you are dealing with any individual.
Exactly. And well, I didn't think about it that way. Give yourself, you're pretty good. I never really thought about it that way, but it does make sense because I've always told people I'm a great judgment. I have a great judgment for friends and who should be in my life. And mix that with, I've also told people that my mother figure raised me and showed me how to be a man, but my parents didn't necessarily raise me. They just showed me what I shouldn't be doing by doing it themselves. So as I've always, like I've told you before, if I just do the opposite of what my parents are doing, then I'll
Doing a great
be
job.
a lot. Yeah. So that's how my parents raised me, by just doing a lot of fucked up shit. So that mixed in with my aunt slash mother figure saying who she's gonna be and also doing it, mixing and making a concoction in my mind with all those things, I'm able to realize who needs to be in my life or who doesn't, because people just do things or say things that makes it easy for me to realize I don't want this person around me. So when it comes to the point of somebody saying they're going to do something and also doing it, or saying who they are and acting exactly who they are, that's how I like have people around me. And that's what my attractiveness is to people that are themselves and being authentic with themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
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 and that does make a lot of sense. But I also wonder, like, how long does it take you to trust someone? And do you ever fully trust someone with things that you're in need of? I think the question, what I'm trying to figure out based on these circumstances and these experiences, one, do you find it difficult to ask for help? And when help is given, do you accept it? And then two, what is the pathway to establishing trust with someone else?
It's so weird because I guess I don't generally trust people, but there just are things that I feel more trustworthy. I don't know if I feel more trustworthy with people, or I'm just not bothered about them breaking my trust with that specific thing.
Or is
So
it that you just expect it? So you don't really
I'm
hold them to anything.
yeah, I'm braced. Like everybody has their ceiling, and your ceiling is lower than where you can hurt me. So even if they do some shit, I'm not really bothered by it because I didn't put you at a certain position to fuck with me. So where was I going with this?
Trust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So trust. Yeah. Even with like, let's say work or getting things done, I like working by myself
Because you
because
can
I
trust yourself.
trust myself. Exactly. I don't need. Not only do I need to be in a position where I don't trust you, I don't need you to be in a position where you're going to disappoint me. So it's like, let's just not even go down this road. But the people that I view like, hey, you know what, I can bring you in a little bit. I start you at a certain level, and at a and it is really weird with trust because I'll give you, I don't know sometimes if I have people earn trust from me or if I give them like 100% and then they just break it down little by little.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I've always been a good judgment of friends when it comes to this moment of um
Survival skills. So you had to sharpen up your skills about individuals to ensure that when you're investing in someone, they're actually worth it, and they're not going to some degree, break your heart or break your
yeah,
trust.
yeah. And when it comes to friends, that wasn't hard to do. When it comes to people being in my life, it's like, okay, you know, I can accept you at this capacity. Oh, you're really fucking me. I can accept you at that capacity. But when it came to like relationships, that seemed like a downfall for me. Like, why can't I just get the right person for me? But I think I was just also looking for a certain level of love, and when I didn't get it, I kind of felt like it was a disappointment from like my relationships. But as I got older, and that's how I felt like before my 20s. But then as I got older, I guess my view on trust and things changed because more so in my 20s, I was giving my trust more so in relationships, romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, why can't you be amazing? Like, look how amazing I am. Why can't we be amazing together? But I came to realize compatibility doesn't always work like that. So I think it was easier to find the trust in friendships and easier to find friends and finding a romantic partner because I'm looking for this certain type of compatibility and love at a certain level. Um, that's more than just friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes another level of trust that I don't necessarily feel like I probably had, I guess, from my mom or parental figure, parents and stuff
Gotcha.
like that.
Gotcha. Let's go back to your mother figure, right?
Okay.
Now you enter into her home. A part of you, I'm assuming, is like, I let me make sure that I don't mess this up, right? So,
Hmm.
what are the things that you partook in to ensure that her love for you will always be present and her acceptance of you in her home will always be the case? What things did you have to do to try not to ruffle feathers because you don't want to be displaced from this home?
Um, I didn't I didn't have to really do anything but be myself. Um, Basic foundational shit. Don't lie, steal, um, you know, just be regular. You know, just don't be a fucked up person. That was really all I had to do. But I guess the times where things may not have been the best or like, you know, I may be in trouble in the house, it didn't make me feel like, wow, I may be kicked out.
So
Or I
she provided that much security to you that
yeah,
it was never a threat that you could have experienced what you had experienced with your parents.
exactly.
So now if we tie that back to Thanksgiving, it's family time, and the main person that has created a sense of family to you, you're away from them.
Yes. And that's one of the people that actually called me around that time for Thanksgiving. So it made it even like a lot harder to deal with because
Mhm.
my main person
Yeah,
for this specific time is so
not
far
here.
away.
Yeah, and that sucks. That
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
Right. You're across the world. There's no way that you could get to her.
And the other part of it, when you asked earlier, me like being there and doing things for people, this is the one person that um I would go out of my way for. And the one person that I have like this unconditional love for that I've also felt unconditional love from, because of just knowing that, oh, I can be a fucker. I can make mistakes, and I'm not gonna get attacked and assaulted and kicked out of like the home for making mistakes. So
Is that one of the ways that you would show your appreciation and your love to her? Is by taking care of most of the household work, cooking with her, cooking for her, finding ways of taking care of her.
Yeah, or and doing things that she found interesting. So like we would talk. She enjoys like just regular conversation. So we would talk. She's a chef, so I learned like a lot of my culinary skills from her. There's just there's certain things that attribute her and me to like being a mother-son dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
um, that just naturally happen. Things like, you know, calling her like, hey, I'm in the area, I'm gonna come stop by. Or "Hey, what are you doing? You're not doing anything, I'm just gonna come stop by and just chill with you." Like things like that happen. And I've never felt like doing that with my biological mom.
Mm-hmm.
And even when me and my biological mom like weren't on the rocks anymore in my adult age, I still never felt the need to be like, hey mom, what are you doing? I'm gonna come over. But my aunt, I'll just always hit her up like, I'm not doing anything, you want some company? And it's because I felt like that space of, oh, I
Attachment.
can be around you, and there's a sense of compatibility there. And I've always like sensed compatibility in a way that our emotions, our mental, our physical are all aligned. Like I can physically be in my mother figure's space and feel comfortable. I can mentally be like in my mother figure's space and feel comfortable. And emotionally, made me feel space in this, made me feel safe in this space. That matched up with she has said certain things, and she's kept up with exactly what she said without making any promises or any agreements or anything like that. I fucked up right in front of her, and she's yelled at me, barked on me, just like a regular family dynamic, mothers and or mother figure dynamic should be. With all of these things that's come up, and she showed me that early in our relationship. So with all of that, it was like, oh, I'm compatible right here,
Yeah.
and this is how I'm going to react to this compatibility. And I always reacted naturally, and I never had to do anything or go out of my way to show her that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a lot.
it was a lot. But it was, so now that you're saying all of this, this is the this is a strong comparison between going from this woman who's my mother figure to now going into this relationship with Mila, because they have a lot of similarities with in sense of like compatibility. So now I feel like this newfound like comfort and transition. And then now is also another transition, because I'm going from like my 20s into my 30s. I'm going from the strong woman in my life is my mother to now it's Mila, my girlfriend, my wife, and this intimate relationship. And I'm going from one coast to another. It's like a fresh start with everything. So it is scary to think about where I am right now, but it's exciting because I knew I was here before.
I was here before.
Yeah.
Here where?
In this space of, I feel like a fresh start.
A fresh start.
Meeting somebody that a fresh start in the sense of meeting somebody that
Accepted you for who you were.
in this certain space of intimacy and relationship and oneness with somebody that, you know,
Yeah.
I'm in love with.
That saw the good in you.
Yeah.
That was not misjudging you. That was not using you. That was not weaponizing your experiences against you.
Yeah.
That accepted you. That opened their doors for you.
Mm-hmm.
That loves you. That supports you. That protects you. It also gives you this ability, this opportunity to take care of them, because they're also in need of you, the same way that you're in need of them. It may not be stated or verbalized, but through behaviors and actions, those are the things that are being done.
Right. And I'm not even the only one with my mother figure that she took in and took care of. Like she constantly showed this behavior with other kids and her other nieces and nephews also. So this just goes to show that this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me feel special that I wasn't special in that type of way. To know that somebody can do this for me at this level, but also do it for other people in a normalcy for them, it felt great. And it made me realize that you can do it too. Like you can look out and be there for people unconditionally, like this woman has for you. So to answer your question, that was the second part of how I got to the point of being there or being there for people, or where did I see that? Where did I get that from?
Yeah.
And so the comparison between her and Mila and like this transition and my attractiveness and compatibility to Mila is her just doing things in the same breath or in the same similarity. And as a man, I guess when other men that have mother figures in their lives or their mothers in their lives and they go, you know, I want somebody that's similar to my mom in some type of way, I guess this is the feeling that they have.
How proud of you is she? How proud of you is she?
Oh, she's ecstatic. Yeah, no, no matter what's been going on, just knowing,
She got your back.
yeah, she got my back, and just knowing that I am the person that I am, she's ecstatic and proud of that, and that's all she can ask for. And she tells me all the time that she is. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna make a comparison. I was gonna finish out the comparison between Mila and my
Your
aunt.
mother? Go ahead.
My
Go
mother.
ahead. Comfort zone. Okay. Familiarity. We'll talk about that later. Good.
Was that the reason I want to bring this up is because it goes back into the inner child work that I've been doing. Was Mila set up a ancestor shrine in the crib, just to like, it was, I forgot what it was, but it's something about the moon and, you know, astrology, you know, she's really about the witchy shit. But she set up an ancestor shrine because at that time, wherever with the moon, you have it was around Halloween, that's what it was, and you have a very strong connection with your ancestors around that time. So I was able to get pictures of my grandmother and my grandparents. I mean, my grandfathers.
Really?
Yeah, and I never really, and it's so crazy because I was talking about when we talked about me forgetting my childhood. I actually forgot that I had these pictures from my grandmother from when I was like maybe 4 years old when I was still in Jamaica, and it never sparked to me to like get these back until Mila said, you know, we should set up a shrine. You should get like whoever has passed, their pictures or whatever on the shrine. And so I went to my cousin who was still in Jamaica, and because I wasn't speaking to my mom or like my cousins on that side. This is my only cousin that I can hit up, my only cousin and uncle that I can hit up, and they actually found pictures of me and my grandmother, and I have like 4 specific pictures of my grandmother that I always remember since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so just seeing those like spark these memories of when I was with my grandmother in Jamaica. And so talking about me forgetting my childhood, and then seeing these photos helped like
Trigger.
Spark is, yeah, it's trigger, spark. Like spark is just the word I'm using because I really felt like an ignition, like,
Yeah.
oh, and then it just
Like a
went
jump start.
Yeah, it jump started my brain and my memories, and I was like, yeah, I remember like my grandmother and these moments that I had with her. So I say all that to say, with around Thanksgiving, Mila trying to make me feel comfortable and incorporated in this family dynamic, thinking about my mother figure, the similarities between both of them, and experiencing this as a whole has made me feel more comfortable with the transition with being here. even when and not feeling as lonely, because I have somebody here to make me feel that. So there's just like so many similarities between what I went through and what I'm going through now, but more so in a positive way because of who I'm with.
I love this for you.
Yeah, it's just so much all the time.
Hey, no one said healing is easy, but you are doing the work. You
And it's
have
not
a partner that's supporting you and that's creating this space for you. I'm happy to some degree that this ended on a positive note.
Yeah, well, Christmas is coming up, so there's that.
We'll deal with that very soon. We'll prepare for that one. But it's amazing to see your journey and where you have come from and how you've been able to kind of going through this process of healing, of defining yourself, redefining yourself, and finding the community in which you could thrive.
Yeah, it feels good to be able to make connections to things. Um and I'm hoping that when people listen that they can make their own connections with this also.
Yeah, and one of the most important thing about healing is that it doesn't happen in isolation. Yes, being single, you could do some of your work, but the ultimate test is a relationship, because your partner is going to trigger parts of yourself that you couldn't do while being single, right? And that's where you get to see what has been the outcome of your healing process, is whether or not you can function and operate within a relational context where triggers are present. And so far, like, you've managed to do a very good job of that. The fact that you were able to go to her and be like, hey, I'm feeling down about Thanksgiving and here's why. I'm feeling a sense of loneliness and here's why. Right?
Yeah.
Not just you isolating yourself into a corner or choosing not to partake in this event, but leaning on her and being honest and being transparent, being vulnerable, allowing her to know what's happening in your world and find ways to be present for you and to support you, even though you may not know how you need to be supported at that time period. Choosing the right partner is one of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make in life.
Yeah.
That's why it's very important.
And it's yeah, it's important. And it feels good because now I can like have moments, all of these moments, and feel comfortable in these moments. Like even this morning I cried for no apparent reason. Well, it was a reason. um I was just laying there and I was I was funny enough actually thinking about what I can do for like a live show. I was thinking about a live show idea. And I don't want to spoil the idea because it's a great fucking idea, right?
A live show for what?
For a podcast.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Something
You are a
like
podcaster. I keep forgetting sometimes.
yeah, I'd be stuck in that mindset. So as I'm sitting there, I'm laying down with Mila, cuddling, and I told her like, "Yo, I just thought of this amazing idea for a live show, right?" And within this memory, I'm like building the live show in my head, building and building it. And I just thought of like this moment where I'm on stage looking at everybody and I'm speaking to them, and it kind of feels like an acceptance speech. Like I won something and I'm speaking to them. And I don't know where my mind went down this path of I know that I'm accepting I'm speaking to these people, and I knew what I was already gonna say, and I just like went another angle. I was like, listen, I know what I was gonna say, but just being here and seeing all of these people here just at this show, I want us to all feel like winners, and I want us to all feel like we're in this, and we're all on stage. Because my point of like the show was for everybody to like be themed and everybody be like dressed up and within the theme.
Orlando,
But
this is you taking care of everybody else. This
yeah,
is
so
you.
that's what I was gonna say.
This is you saying, "Hey, let me make sure everybody else is okay." Because there was a time where I
Yeah.
was okay, and I didn't get people to check in on me, or I did get people to check in on me eventually. Now I want to offer that same grace to everybody else.
Exactly. So, and that's what made me cry because I'm standing there like, yo, I want us to all feel like we're in this together, we're all winning. And that's when people hear like these stories, I want them to feel like, you know what? I can heal a little bit better from listening to what Orlando went through. And that's what made me cry. Just like the moment of feeling as if I'm going to be helping somebody or
Mhm.
helping somebody else's story, just like how somebody helped me
There we go.
like break down in tears.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's enough for today. I can't go anymore.
So once we end here, I do need you to go outside and go for a walk or something. I need you to
Oh
move
yeah.
your body to some degree to allow everything that we've talked about to kind of breathe, to give you a chance to kind of move all of the emotions that you have just expressed and allow them to disperse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See you next week,
Yeah.
my man.